Okay, so we've got Captain Morgan, we've got Captain Obvious, and we also have Captain America. So what we'd like to do is real quick, we're recording. I don't think he's on the line tonight, but we're going to give an aye Captain. Our meeting got to Dennis. Our meeting got moved a week. We were going to do it last week, but we wanted to give him a good send off. So if you guys have any good memories of Dennis, we can give him an aye Captain and go ahead. Oh, we've got chats. Hold on, let's check.
Excuse me. Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. So does anyone have a good memory of Dennis or something that you would like to share? Just as a recognition for being our wonderful governor last year.
Oh,
Oh,
he
well,
had
I
a
could
really
real
hard
quick.
year. Well, go ahead.
He made a couple trips to our club, and it was really, really nice to have him there. He was a really great guy.
All right.
This is in the Chester Club.
Wonderful. So after everyone goes, we'll say aye. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Aye. There you go. Who else? Anyone else have a memory?
Yes, Joe Flanagan, Virginia Beach. And Dennis's father was one of the founding members, I believe, or certainly a president in the first years of our club. So when he comes to our club, we really give him an aye and a standing ovation. Great guy. Really is a key to Kiwanis. Really like the guy.
So let's give him an aye.
Aye.
See, you're catching on.
Oh, shit, I'm on mute.
All right. Other stories.
Bruce, put yourself on mute.
All right.
Well, I very much appreciated when Dennis came to our potluck picnic, and we had a wonderful time. It was very hot, and he gave a very nice speech to our Division 4. So aye.
Aye.
I was really grateful when he came and did the installations just 2 weeks ago at the Charlottesville Club, and he behaved himself, which is always a hard thing for him to do when we're together. So that was a good thing. So aye to that.
Aye. And I'm recording this so he can watch it later. So you say whatever you want to.
Krista, from
Yes,
my Bethesda club, Dennis came and joined us in January of this past year, one of our first Zoom meetings, and he inducted our first new member of the year. And the new member felt great to be inducted by the governor of the Capital District, and Dennis did a nice job. So I want to say aye to that.
Aye. Excellent. Well, we wish him the very, very best. We had a great time under his captainness, and yeah, and I'm sure we'll do the same next year. But Dennis, we're sorry it's a little late, but aye to you. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Aye. All right. Well, thank you guys. That was fun. We had a good time. So we are going to move on to our guest speaker. It is John Morris. He is the Capital District Membership Chair, and he's going to talk to us about a focused lens on membership. This is a very important topic, and we're very happy to have him here. And John, if you'd like to do a short introduction and take it away, that would be great.
Well, I appreciate that, Krista. I am a past governor. I was served in 1819, been in Kiwanis for almost 25 years, and a member of the Kiwanis Club of Richmond. And I see that we have at least 3 members on this call, Barbara, Bruce, and Jim. But glad to be here.
I first want to congratulate Karen Shoemaker and her team. She has been the district membership coordinator for the last 3 years and done a wonderful job. I mean, this past year during the pandemic, the district opened 3 new clubs, and our clubs added 271 new members, which I think is just fantastic during the situation we've been during the last year with COVID. Clubs sometimes being open, sometimes not. Very difficult to reach people, certainly very difficult to gather. And I think she's done a wonderful job. And she built a team that also did a great job. But tonight I want to talk about what Kiwanis and the Capital District are doing to help clubs with membership. And I'll also pass on a few random ideas about how your club can grow and strengthen. But this is a new Kiwanis year. Art Riley, our own Capital District Art, did a wonderful job last year. And he helped shift the membership focus from being all about opening new clubs to figuring out ways to strengthen existing clubs. And the next slide, Krista. Our new international president is Peter Mancuso, who has taken Art's vision of strengthening clubs to the next level. His focus this year is on strengthening existing clubs, but with a more deliberate strategy. In the most recent issue of the Kiwanis magazine, and that's the cover there on the slide, he stated that his overarching concern is the well-being of local clubs. And that's what I'm going to focus on here. And that's what we're going to be spending a lot of time focusing on during the coming year. I saw that our new governor, Alana Gardner, is on the call. And the next slide, I'm happy to announce that, or report that she agrees with President Peter about the importance of new clubs. Her 2 membership goals are open 5 to 8 clubs. And then on the strengthening to add in the Capital District 500 new members. Now that sounds like an awful lot. And it is, and it's double what we raised this year, but this year was a very difficult year and we hope to have a much better year next year. But this can be achieved if each division adds 2 members to, each month. In other words, all the clubs combined in a district add a total of 2 members during each month. We will hit the 500 or be very close to it because that's 12 months, that's 24 new members per division. We now have 20 division with the inclusion of West Virginia, and I saw Otha and Keith and John on the call, delighted to have our West Virginia members here on the call. But we can do it and we need to do it. And I've gotten a number of ads come in from Kiwanis International already, so I know we're off to a good start. I want you to note this is not a net number, it's the total number of new members. So get your clubs thinking about it. Let's get new members in each division as we go through the year every month. Next slide. One way President Peter is showing his commitment to strengthen existing clubs is he is expanding the Kiwanis International grants for opening new clubs to include assisting existing clubs recruit new members. If there is an existing club that needs help that's in the same geographical area as a planned new club, the grant will be available to boost that existing club. He's calling it the Boost program, as well as to open the new club. Now, I don't want to call it a catch, but a requirement. The existing club, in order to qualify for getting this help, must set up a plan to increase membership and must be involved in making that plan work. In other words, Kiwanis International is not just going to come in, recruit members for you. You have to do the legwork up front and you have to be very much involved. But if you're willing to do that, Kiwanis International, assuming that there's a club opening in the same area, is going to be willing to help you. And so we're going to be looking this year at areas where we hope to open new clubs. And we're not going to forget about the new clubs and opening. That's also an important process. But we're going to take a look at the existing clubs in that geographical area. And we're going to see if we can get one of them to qualify for the Boost dollars. So be thinking about that. Be thinking of what you want to do. In any event, this is exciting to me that Kiwanis International has set aside some money to help with strengthening clubs and not just opening new clubs. Next slide. During President Art's year, there was a new focus on club coaches. The name of it had been the club counselors was changed. And these are experienced Kiwanians who have been trained to help clubs figure out how to grow and how to become stronger, as well as helping new clubs get started on the right track. Our immediate past governor, Dennis Ball, to whom we said an awful lot of ayes, led the committee that strengthened that program and came up with a revised certification process. I'm sorry, Dennis is not on the call because we'd have given him, and I'm saying now, let's give him another aye, whether you're on mute or not, just say it. Aye, Dennis. But we now have many trained district members who are ready to help you strengthen your club. And I'll be talking about them a little bit more, but there will be, when you need help, they're going to be two different, well, three, because the lieutenant governor is always there, but they're going to be coaches, hopefully in every division. And we're also going to have some help from the district membership committee. Karen revised how the membership committee had worked. She appointed regional membership coordinators, and Eric, who's on the call, was one of them, who tracked both potential, no, he's one of the new ones, I'm sorry, tracked both potential new club opening sites as well as identified clubs that had membership challenges. It was Jen Hiscock, who's on the call, that was one of the regional coordinators last year. Next slide, please. I have decided to take her model and expand it by adding divisional membership coordinators. Hope to have one in each division. I've got about 60–70% of them already. But these are Kiwanians who are assigned to help clubs in their division who have membership issues. And their main purpose is to keep track of what's going on with the clubs in their division. Would like for them to work with the membership chairs of those clubs. We want to get a report early if a club is in trouble. We want to know if a club would like to have help. We just want to have what amounts to boots on the ground in the local area. And the membership divisional coordinators are going to become very important parts of the team. Now, they're not going to be replacing the lieutenant governors. Obviously, we still have them. They will be, and of course, membership is not taken off their plate, but these people will work with the lieutenant governors and supplement them by focusing on membership. Some lieutenant governors may choose to formalize it and make the coordinator the division chair, membership chair. That's up to them. But the idea behind this is we want to have people in the local area. And by local, I'm referring to the divisions. Our regions are just too big to have one person in the entire region, in my mind. So that's why we're setting up the divisional. Already in my first week as district membership coordinator, we've had a club ask us for help. This was a club of 15 members. They're not in danger of closing. They have about 12 active members, and I suspect most of us would like to be delighted if 80% of our members were very active, but they have that. But they also want to be strong. They want to be able to do more service. They want to take the load off 12 members who are doing most of the work. And they also want to have new members to enter the leadership pipeline. And this is what we want. We want clubs to come to us. They wouldn't necessarily have been picked for us saying, oh, they're at 15, but they're steady. They're not dropping membership. So that's a good, strong club. And 15 is not a magic number by any means. If your club needs help, whether you are under 15, which means below charter strength, you're at 15 or 20, or you've got 40 or 50 or 80 members. If you feel you need help, if you would like to have somebody come in and work with you on developing and executing a membership plan, please call us. That's what we're here to do. And either the divisional membership coordinator or a certified club coach will be helping them. It's might be the lieutenant governor possibly, but my envision is having the division membership coordinator, and a trained club coach in that. So please ask us for help if your club needs it. There's nothing to be ashamed of in asking. We want your club to be as strong as it possibly can. Now, I said I would give some membership growth ideas. This is obviously just a sampling of things that you can do with membership. There are a lot of ways, and I'm sure you'll hear from me before too long. But the first thing each club should do is have a membership chair. I can't emphasize it enough. A membership chair, or having a person in the club who is focused on membership, is critical. Now, you may have a committee, you may have several chairs. I know I'm in a large club, and we have a recruiting chair, or I forget whether it's retention, what we're calling it. We used to have an orientation chair. We've got a diversity chair. All of those factor into membership. But the key is we have people whose job is to focus on membership. And one of them is a recruiting chair. And the clubs need to have someone or a group of people who does focus on membership. If no one has taken that responsibility thus far, then the club president should appoint one. But if nobody is focusing on it, it's not going to happen. The Kiwanis says that membership is the responsibility of every member in the club. So in theory, all are members of a membership committee. But if nobody's focusing on it, if nobody's trying to work on that, then it's unlikely your club is going to succeed in growing. Membership chair should also create a membership growth plan. Planning is a major part of success. If you don't plan and just do it haphazardly, you're not likely to have much growth. There's an excellent article coming out on strategic planning in the upcoming Capital Kiwania. It was written by past Lieutenant Governor and the new Division 16 membership coordinator, Jerry Jones. I commend it to you. You should read it carefully, and take some of the steps needed. There's an old saying that failing to plan is the same as planning to fail, and we don't want anybody to fail. So please create a plan, focus on it, and don't create a plan that you didn't put in a file cabinet and figure you'll go look at 3 years later. Make the plan and work it and carry it out. And please work with your divisional membership coordinator on what you're planning and all of that. Next slide, please. Kiwanis has had for a number of years a booklet called Achieving Club Excellence. I don't know if I'm showing here on the screen, but there's a booklet just called Tools for Success. And that's what Achieving Club Excellence is. It is the website where you can reach it is shown there on the slide. But you should focus on these things. There are a lot of ideas. I mean, there's measuring club member satisfaction. There's creating a purpose. It's rediscovering your community, analyzing your impact. And you can see down the line, there's an awful lot. The most important thing is to plan for club excellence. But use these tools, get a copy of that. I haven't tried to get one from KI, but I know that they're very easy to get books of that nature from them, and I'm pretty sure it's still in print. And so I encourage you to read it, discuss with your club what's in there, decide which of these strategies will work best with your club, and then, like Nike says, just do it. So I commend the whole concept of and these are called ACE tools, which stands for Course Achieving Club Excellence. Use the ACE tools. They're wonderful, wonderful guides to improving your club. Next slide. One of the most important things to do when you do get new members is to orient them. Their orientation is critical to turning them into committed Kiwanians. If your new members are like me when they join, like me when I joined, they really don't know much about Kiwanis. Kiwanis to me was nothing but a name. I knew it was a service organization. I knew vaguely it focused on children, and I had several friends that were encouraging me to join. It was only when I went to orientation that I really learned what Kiwanis is all about. It's important to have a good orientation. And we're there to teach them, and you should be there to show them all the good work that your club is doing in the community. But I encourage you not to just, let's have a single session, go for an hour, talk to them from a script. In addition to telling them about Kiwanis, find out what's important to them. That's key to getting them involved, because we do want to get them involved. And if you know what they're interested in, you can steer them to the right place. You also try to come up with a way to get them immersed in the club. Now, I know my club has had something called Getting the Red Out. And the idea was that you had a badge that had a red button on it until you had checked off 8 to 10 things to get done. You had a red button. We stopped doing that because there was some members that simply didn't do it. And it was embarrassing to have somebody in the club for 2 or 3 years and still have red on a badge. But the key is to get them involved, get them out there, get them doing. Another idea is to consider asking them what they would like the club to do to help the community. Take any suggestions you get from your new members to the board and can have the board consider their ideas carefully. It will help get new members invested. It may end up expanding your club's outreach. And if it does, it will probably bring in more new members because you will be reaching other people within the community. A club in Florida decided to donate a small sum of money to a charitable cause of the new members' choice. Hopefully it's something related to children, but the idea is in order to make them feel valued, the club gave $25 to whatever charity they wanted it sent to. And again, that is a way of making them feel they belong, feel more connected. And it also gets the club's name in front of other charitable organizations. But whatever you do, you need to make the new member feel important. And next slide. And part of making the new member feel important is to introduce your new members at a club meeting. You want to make it a big deal. After all, this is a person who is going to become someone you will be working with and serving with for hopefully a long time. And you want them to feel like they are welcome in the club. Invite their family members, invite their coworkers, their friends. They will feel better about joining if you show you care about them and their friends, and you might get some more new members to attend the introduction. But it's very important to make them feel that you value their membership. You value them as your members by, as I say, making a big deal of introducing them to the club. Next slide. One of the things I recommend is that you sell your service projects, not your meetings. Now, some clubs, and mine is one of those, have fabulous meetings with great speakers. And we also have good fellowship at the meetings. And we have a lot of success attracting new members by getting them to our meetings. In fact, we have a very successful recruiter in my club that doesn't like to tell the people he's bringing that they're coming to a Kiwanis club. They're just coming to have lunch with him and gets them in there. And he has been very successful in bringing people. But for most clubs and for most people, that doesn't work as well because there aren't many prospects out there who are looking for a way to attend another meeting. They've probably got more meetings now than they want to go to, and they're just not interested in having another meeting, whether it meets weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. They're usually out there looking for a way to make a difference in the community. And that means what they're interested in is service. Service to or for children is particularly attractive. And so when you are inviting or you're having your members invite friends or colleagues or acquaintances, urge them to have them come to service projects. Now, I don't mean like one club did, a service project where they work through the night stirring Brunswick stew. I don't think that's going to turn a whole lot of people on. But if you're cleaning up a school playground, or you're planning a community garden, or you are even reading to children, handing out water on a road race, or any other kind of activity that has service going on, I encourage you to bring them to that. Let them see your members have fun. Let them see your members doing good work in the community. And I think you will have more success recruiting them to become members of your club. Remember, we are the world's largest service organization focused on children. You want to invite prospects, particularly to those involving children. Kiwanis has a great reputation for working with children, helping children. Use Kiwanis's reputation, use the mission statement of Kiwanis to help you sell Kiwanis. Next slide. You can probably see on the screen, I'm an old fogey. I got white hair, and social media is something that I've heard about. I've learned how to spell it. And that's about the extent of my knowledge of social media and my competence. And in fact, Krista's probably too polite to tell you that she did all the slides here. I gave her my ideas of what I wanted, and then she took my ideas and made them vastly better. And I'm probably more adept at PowerPoint than I am social media. But clubs in Kiwanis are finding that the best way to recruit, and I knew this regarding new clubs, but people are finding it on existing clubs, is to use social media. And Facebook seems to be the best social media vehicle for the type of adults you're likely to be recruiting. But it's important that your social media be kept up to date. There's nothing worse than going to a Facebook page and you're talking about your upcoming meeting at Christmas of 2019. Well, you get the point. Anything that's not up to date. And by up to date, it should be getting changed on a very current, regular basis. When I have to do that, when my club does it, we've got somebody that we turn to who is two people who are very good at social media. They're much younger than I am, and they do a great job. But also, one of the problems with a lot of the social media that Kiwanis clubs put out is it has pictures of members standing together. Either they got, for whatever reason, they're recognizing the people that have made Legion of Honor, or they're showing people, standing outside at an event maybe they've worked in, but all you're seeing are the Kiwanians. Or you see the club president presenting a big check to a corporate or charitable organization that the club is supporting. All of those pictures are good and they make the members feel good about themselves and about what they do. But it doesn't really do a lot for people you want to encourage to join you. What you need to do is show photographs of the club working with children or working for children or just working in service projects. You want to let them know that your club is about service. It's not about patting themselves on the back. It's about being out in the field and helping make the community a better place. And so if you want to use it for recruiting, post a message about a service project and invite the community to attend and help you, and make the post about the service project. Make it the principal point of the message, not your club. This is not your club inviting them to join. It's your club inviting them to work with you. Somebody said that a good Facebook post is friendly, useful, inspirational, and entertaining. It should be a call to action. If there's no photo, you need to grab their attention up front with words. So don't start out with the Kiwanis Club of East Richmond, Virginia wants to do such and such. Put it about the project. We are going to be doing something, or this organization needs some help getting its playground cleaned up. Would you please join us to help clean up that neighborhood? A sideline to that, but very different, is consider sending your club's newsletter to former members. It's good public relations. You might find that the former member the circumstances may have changed and they're ready to rejoin, or may suggest your club to friends. But the bottom line, if you send it electronically, it doesn't cost you anything. Just put them on the list and send it to them. And you never know what good may come of it, but they already know what the club is. So it's not like you're sending it to a totally blind entity. Next slide. One of the things that types of clubs or types of memberships that Kiwanis has come up with are corporate memberships. And this is an excellent way to get leaders of your local corporations involved with Kiwanis. A lot of people and leaders in the community are in jobs that get rotated. The branch manager of a bank is apt to be in that job a very short period of time and somebody take their place. Having a corporate membership allows that club or that corporation to then, instead of having to, well, from your point, having to recruit, they're already a member. And so the person that comes in as manager, they're already in the sense of a member. The company does have to designate a person. It doesn't have to be the manager. But if that person leaves, the company is still a member of the club and you can still go forward. And I would encourage you to look into having corporate memberships, particularly for corporations that support you. If you got corporations that every year you hold a golf tournament and they are a sponsor of the golf tournament, sponsor a hole or something else, offer a corporate membership, give it to them for free. All it costs you is paying the Kiwanis International and district dues. And if they're doing a good job of sponsoring, you're bringing in a lot more money from them than you're talking about spending. And I would do that to get a hook, to get them in. It might, I don't know if it would be much of a hook to encourage them to give in the first place, but you never know. But the idea is make them a part of your organization. Generally, whatever your dues are is not an issue for the corporation. Given what the economics are of being a member of a club. So look into going out into the corporations, identify the corporations that you think would be good to get in, and try to make them a part of your club, because you will probably see great dividends. Next slide. One of the type of entities that Kiwanis has had for approximately, I'm guessing, 10 years is a club satellite. And a club satellite is for people that, for whatever reason, can't or don't want to be at your regular meeting, but still want to be involved in Kiwanis. It may be that you meet at lunch, they work at lunch and they have no way they can get off, or they can't take the time off, or it's too far. Dinner may be a problem because they're feeding the family, getting the children to bed, whatever it may be, but they want to be involved. And so consider setting up a club satellite. Eric Lamb, who's on here from Charlottesville, I think his club has 2 club satellites. But they've been very successful with getting, in one case, a group of young people, another one, it was a different demographic, to get them to join the club, be very active, but do it as a satellite. There's no special paperwork needed for Kiwanis to create a satellite. You just create it. All you're dealing with is new member applications. They can do their own projects or they can work on yours. It makes no difference. It's up to you and up to them. And I would encourage you to create a club satellite. Some people say, oh, well, when they get to 15 or get to 20, then they go off and become their own club. Well, it's certainly, they can do that when they get to the right size, but they don't have to. And if they do, it doesn't really ding your club. You've got another club in town that you've got a very close relationship to. So I encourage you to look at club satellites, because it allows you to be much more flexible to other people in your community that they can't be part of you for scheduling reasons, but you can make it easier for them to be part of Kiwanis and to help you do what you do. Next slide, please. One of Art Riley's committees this year came up with the idea of single emphasis clubs, also known as single focus clubs, as helpful in opening new clubs. But that committee realized that a single emphasis club can also work to strengthen an existing club. You can see on the slide that there are several different types of single emphasis clubs that have been ideas come up. And these are not, a single emphasis club is not a, we're an area club, we're a literacy club, we're this or that. It's ideas of how to do things. Literacy clubs, for instance, are, as the word announces, works on literacy. There are many different ways to be involved in literacy. And your club may be very interested to step aside and get in or to create a project regarding literacy. Look into this, see if there's something in that that would be meaningful to your club, something that you can do and get involved with. Same with food insecurity. There's so much food insecurity in our nation and frankly around the world. And there are many different ways you can help. I mentioned earlier a community garden. My club has helped building a school garden, which is reaping enormous benefits with the children as they learn things about food, they learn things about nutrition. And these are many ways that you can get involved. These are ideas to expand what you're already doing in your community and to make yourself attractive to new members. So look into these areas. And when you start a project, think in terms of how can we get other people to come help? How can we get other people to get involved with this? That's how you grow. That's how you get members. One of the things that is also, I don't think it's showing there, but, and that's probably my fault, but there's a blurb on retired teachers and educators. That is a great target audience for membership. And I'm not just meaning teachers and educators. Recent retirees and empty nesters are people who now suddenly have an awful lot of time on their hands they didn't have before. Many of them are looking to fill that time. They don't want to all of a sudden become a couch potato. And yes, they have other things they may want to do, but they still have, I would say on average, 40 to 50 hours a week. They don't have to spend at work or going and coming from work. We focused on retired teachers and educators because those are people who are already in schools. They've already shown their love for children. And they may want to stay involved. What they don't want to continue, they got too tired for or figured they wanted less time. They don't have to work 5 days a week. They don't have to do lesson plans. They don't have to grade papers. All of that is off their hands, but they can still be involved with school. And there are many different ways that we get involved. Reading programs, our service leadership programs, things like Terrific Kids. But I encourage you to look at recently retired people and empty nesters and make them your primary target. Now, if you're in one of the e-clubs that we've created, probably not, because your demographic is a long way from retiring. But for most clubs, people that have clubs that have members that look like me, I strongly urge you to pay attention to who's retiring. Have your members pay attention to who's retiring and see if you can get them to come and join you. I've been asked questions about getting young people to join you. There is, and it's probably very close to where the single emphasis clubs is. If you go into that website, you may be able to find a webinar, and if you can't, let me know and I'll get it to you. A webinar on multi-generational differences. And this is by Kiwanians who have had experience with clubs that have people from the 70s and 80s down to people in their 20s and 30s, and how they have been able to merge them. But it also tells you differences in the generations. And I was amazed at some of the ways I am different in terms of how I look at life, how I communicate than my daughter. Of course, I knew my grandchildren were in a different world. But the point is that it helps you understand other generations, and they have great ideas for how to get younger generations involved in your club. If you want to get younger people in your club, and your club, your age is anywhere close to mine, you don't really want to bring in millennials or make that your target audience. Nothing wrong with bringing them in, but frankly, they don't want to come and be in a club with their parents or grandparents. What you want to do, what I recommend you do, is follow what I call the decade rule. If your club wants to get younger, instead of focusing on people that are 40 years younger, focus on people that are 10 years younger. If your average age is 75 and you bring in 65-year-olds, that's a youth movement. If you're at 65, bring in somebody 55. But look at that rather than thinking I got to get a Y-Gen person or a millennial in my club, because we need them. Now, I know Krista fits into that younger category, and I'm sure that she's in a club where I don't know, she's in the youngest club. I don't know much about the Ellicott City Club, but I think it's Ellicott City you're in. Maybe.
Severna Park.
Oh, Severna Park. Okay, you're right. Anyway, the point is you want to focus on what's doable. You want to focus on people that you know are going to relate to what you want to do, but you can have a youth movement without going to the millennium. The bottom line, and I know I'm probably running out of time, is you don't rely on chance to grow your membership. Be intentional about what you do. Create a plan. Make sure the plan is doable for your club, and that you get your club to buy into it. If you're having a problem or you don't know how to do that, reach out to your divisional or regional membership coordinator or to your lieutenant governor. But we are here to help you. We're not here to have some job that, golly, I can put on my resume. We're here to help. We're here to help you succeed, and we want you to succeed. We want you to get stronger. And I've run out of breath.
I was just going to ask if people have any questions or comments for you, John Morris.
That's fine.
Well done, John.
That was good.
Thank you.
Oh, we have something in the chat. Excellent presentation. Great information and hints on what really works.
I'll pay you later, Ron. Thanks.
Hey, John, a question.
Yes.
Satellite clubs.
Yes.
Can you talk more about whether they meet or don't meet, or whether it's mostly service projects with no meetings? Or can you tell me more about satellite clubs?
It's really up to them. There is no measuring stick. If they don't want to meet, if they're not comfortable with meetings, that may be what separates them. They don't want to be involved in meetings, and they have their projects. You want somebody in that satellite to sort of be a liaison with your club so that you know what they're doing. But they don't have to have meetings. That may not be what they want to do. And if they can reach a consensus of what projects they want to work on or when they want to work on them, there's no requirement from Kiwanis that they have to get together and do it by themselves. One thing that a lot of club satellites don't want to do is take care of the type of reporting that we require in Kiwanis. That's one of the attractive things. They don't have to file reports. So there are really no rules. They have to pay dues, and you can have their dues different from yours if there's a reason for it. We have a club satellite, and their dues are probably 2/3 of what the rest of us pay. But they are full members, but they meet at different times. Some of them come to both meetings or both. They do meet, but they don't have to.
Thank you.
Anything else? Well, if
Okay.
you think of questions later, give me a call. I don't know if my email is up there, but it shouldn't be too hard to find me within the Capitol directory, or I am a committee chair. If you've been around a while, you might still have something from my year as governor way back then. Who knows? But give me a call and I'll contact Krista, and she can get you. There's my email address.
Perfect. John Morris, nice job.